start, yes, late. Good morning, how are you? I still do not know your names. I'll ask you one by one again. You told me your names, I forgot. I must maintain my notes on your names now. Yeah? Okay, let's get started. Hi, all of you online students. Am I audible to all? Srishti, Ashutosh, Anurag, Ganesh. Ganesh, I am not mute anymore. You can hear me? Okay, good morning, Deepak. Good morning. So, I hope you have revised the session of yesterday. We had some new concepts yesterday, talking about the earth, its latitude, longitudes, the time zones, the concept of daylight saving. Hi Rupesh, Sandeep, good morning. So I hope you have revised it. Today I was telling the students that towards the end of the class, for half an hour, 45 minutes, we'll tell you in brief what type of work you should do, which includes synopsis writing, and even some bit of your answer writing must start. So we are giving you daily questions, one question, ज़्यादा नहीं है, और उसको देख के लिखो. You don't have to memorize and write down. So we'll put you through a small half an hour, 45 minutes of discussion. Because see, like I said yesterday, the examination is fundamentally a self-study examination. हम कितना भी पढ़ा लें, no matter how we teach, what we cover, what books we give you, what material we'll give you, if you do not have a way of, studying and understanding on your own, this examination will be difficult. So more than you studying in the class, important है कि class के बाद what are you doing? How are you consolidating? How are you making your notes? How are you relating developments in current affairs also? Okay, so it will happen slowly, gradually. नहीं ऐसा नहीं है दीपक. It is there. You probably are missing some tabs. It's coming out on daily basis, Deepak. Nevertheless, I'll go back and check again. Good morning, Melomane. Okay, I do not know what your name is, but that's your DP name. That's how I am addressing you. Good morning. So, just telling this to all of you, you have to learn how to study on your own. Notes making, revision, and appreciation of how you are correlating what is being taught with current affairs. Correlating what is being taught, okay, with some issues, articles. It will not be so much in geography initially, but once I enter into environment, once we enter into economy, into polity, we talk about science and technology, then there's a huge amount of current affairs there. Okay? So, nahi Ganesh, beyond a point, you cannot depend on what we give as notes. See, understand all of you. Some things are done because everybody is doing it. Okay? But that is not the right way of preparation. For example, all institutes give you booklets. Okay? But the fact is, these booklets are not the best way of studying. You must study the proper textbooks and some passages from that. You must study the proper articles and not depend on booklets alone. हम भी देते हैं because all others give. If I do not give, it looks like sir is not giving us whatever is there in the market. So people dump information on you. So आपको सीखना होगा. The day you learn to make your notes, the day you learn to correlate articles, the day you learn how to memorize from summaries, then your preparation is on. Otherwise, year after year, 2-3 years, बच्चे काट देते हैं, mechanically going to class and coming from the class. ठीक है? So don't. In fact, we also are sharing our class notes with you, but that is not a good thing to follow. We do it because all others do it, so हम भी कर रहे हैं. But if you are not making your own notes and depending on somebody will give the notes, this examination will not happen for you. You'll always struggle. So please realize this. There are some things which you are getting because all others give you. Okay, but that is a bad trend. This examination requires your analytical thinking. It requires your ability to prioritize. It requires you must know writing skills. And writing skills include three things. One is writing fast. Second is writing with analysis. Third is writing in brevity. Okay, how to prioritize and write down. ये तीनों important है. Okay, so it's not a wise thing that you depend on notes alone. Deepak, yes, results are out. We have been counting since yesterday. We have confirmation of about 75 results. Last year, we had around 70 results. So I'm expecting another 7, 8 once we confirm. It takes time. हमें call करना पड़ता है, पूछना पड़ता है. So all of that. And our results from our test series, from our foundation courses, from our geography, from essays. So we have the entire range. So give us 1 or 2 days. Once I confirm all the results, we'll share it with you. Okay. और वैसे भी मुझे लगता है कि you must focus on your work. Most of these results are marketing gimmicks. Okay. It'll help you only when you start understanding how to prepare. Okay, you'll find some students who have taken courses from 3-4 institutes and उनका चेहरा हर institute में है. Then you're confused. Okay, who is right, who is wrong? ठीक है? So you keep that part aside. हम भी निकालेंगे. We have our list. Okay, but you must have the wisdom of knowing. Okay, what is the right way of preparation? Yes, Shrishti, it'll take us some time for you to get in a groove. The way we do the GS tracking, we do geography tracking, हम आपका भी करेंगे. Okay, but for that I need 10-15 days. We'll do that. ठीक है? Okay, then let's get started. So yesterday we have discussed latitude and longitude. Latitudes and longitudes. We discussed time zones. Just 2-3 facts remains. Time zones में हमने बता दिया India's dilemma. The type of country India is. East-west is a long stretch of approximately 30 degrees. Okay, 97 degree 25 minutes. इस तरफ almost 68 degrees on the west. So 30 minutes is the long distance. 30 degrees is long distance. That's approximately equal to 2 hours. So how do you balance that? तो हम बताया इसका एक तरीका ये है. You can have 2 time zones. The second method is you can have a shift of the IST reference meridian. Right now it is 82.5. You can shift it to 90 degree east. And the second I said was the daylight saving method, where the time can be set back, set forward. Summers में, winters में. I hope you have got the logic there. So this is a daylight saving method. Daylight saving method. For India, we say this perhaps will be more easier. एक बार करना पड़ेगा change. उसके बाद it is there forever. Okay, because 2 time zones confusing होगा. You must not forget the social economic reality of a country. Okay, it will disrupt lot of things. Maybe in 20-30 years people will get used to it. But इतना बड़ा issue नहीं है कि आप 2 time zones कर लें इंडिया में. Like China, I said, is a large country, much bigger than India, but China does not have more than 1 time zone. This is manageable. Okay, daylight saving is also fine. In fact, local population does use this. मैं बताया ना चाय बागान time जो है, in the tea gardens they use it. So ये भी prevalent है. This also can be done. इसमें बहुत बड़ा issue नहीं है. It's just that every year you must change twice. In summers you must take it forward, and winters again set it back. ये आपको हर साल करना पड़ेगा twice. That might create some confusions. The third I said is you can do this. Okay, this is a relatively better long-term solution. Okay, so I think you have understood this. Now about latitude, longitude, I assumed you know this, but one of you asked me a doubt yesterday after class, so I'm explaining this to you. Aap likh lo, all of you. The latitudes are parallels. They are horizontal. They are horizontal to the equator. They are parallels. They are horizontal to the equator. They are measured. They are measured in the vertical axial plane. They are measured along the vertical axial plane. Okay, plane's angle at the center. What I mean by this is, if this is the earth here and ye hai axis, this is the axis here. This is the center of the earth. This is the equator. So what is done is, from here in this vertical plane, they are seeing what is the angle. So this is 0 degree, okay, and this is maybe 10 degree. This is maybe 30 degrees. This is probably 70 degrees. This is 90, and this is 80. This is 90. So in the vertical axial plane, they are comparing the angle, okay, from the center. So this is 10 degrees. So this latitude becomes 10 degree latitudes. The angle from here is, say, 40 degrees. Then this becomes the 40 degree latitude. This angle is 80 degrees. Okay, then this becomes the 80 degree latitude. You measure from the horizontal. Okay, ये center में रखकर इसको आप ऐसे rotate करते हैं. Okay, at the equator the angle is perfectly 0. So latitudes are parallels. So these lines is सारे parallel. They will not meet. Okay, which means that the longest one is at the equator. All the others are smaller latitudes. Okay, so because of this, they are parallels. What happens is that the longest latitude is the equator. Okay, and only equator as a latitude. Okay, only equator as a latitude divides Earth into two equal halves. Only the equator as the latitude divides Earth into two equal halves. ठीक है, अब बाकी सारे जो हैं छोटे हैं. This smaller one here, it's a smaller one here. ये सबसे लंबा है. Okay, ये बीचों बीच है. So this half is equal to this half. जो hemispherical divisions हैं, okay, equal divisions is only by the equatorial latitude, okay, which is the longest one. I believe you understand these points here, not a problem. Achha. Now, this plane is a plane को बोलते हैं. Is this, if I take a plane like this, a two-dimensional plane here, this is called as the equatorial plane. Okay. So if I hold a book or a sheet at this level, okay, इसको बोलते हैं equatorial plane. This is the equatorial plane here. Okay. So the equator is the basis of, okay, अगर यहां से अगर एक plane बनता है ऐसे, if I have a plane like this along this one, this is called as the equatorial plane. This is the equatorial plane. Just know this term. We have the equatorial plane. The equatorial plane divides Earth into two equal halves. Yes, angular distance from this plane. Correct. That's what I was coming to, Rupesh. जो angle आप निकाल रहे हो, the angle is from this equatorial plane. Correct. Yes, Rupesh, you're right. Okay. You just must know these terms. That's all. आपको पूछेगा नहीं शायद इस level पे, it's very elementary. But know these terms. Sometimes we have done this in the schools and we have forgotten. That's perfectly fine. Okay. By the way, I'm amused about some things. 2-3 days ago, I was seeing some of the test papers of the schools, CBSE ka, because starting from last, I think since post-COVID, all the CBSE schools जो हैं, उनका syllabus में काफी changes आया है. The type of questions they're asked. And I was seeing the question paper of the history, question paper on, I saw one on English language, I saw one on economy, SST. And the level of questions are actually incredible. Yesterday I was seeing the question paper of English of class 10th, which was a preparatory examination. And they have got 3 comprehension passages along with grammar also, plus something else. जिस डेप्थ में स्कूल का अभी सिलेबस है, you all must have a look at it, because that will become the standard of the UPSC examination eventually. The standard of comprehension is brilliant. In fact, there are 2 passages which was around data interpretation. They gave a paragraph, they gave a diagram. एक डायग्राम दे दिया था, टेबल दे दिया था, एंड देन उसमें रिक्वायरमेंट था राइट ए पैसेज ऑन इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ द डेटा. वैसे एक और 1 पेज का कंप्रीहेंशन था. एंड द टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन दे आस्किंग फ्रॉम द एंड फॉर क्लास 10 स्टूडेंट. इसका मतलब यह है कि द स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ द एग्जामिनेशन इन द कमिंग ईयर्स विल ओनली इंक्रीज. So lot of these things I'm telling you are in the NCERT books. It's just that कि हमने ध्यान से वो पढ़ाई तब किया नहीं. That's okay, because you come from the system which is 6-7 years older system. It's possible कि उस टाइम में इतना ध्यान से पढ़ाई नहीं हुआ था. But you cannot escape the basic fundamentals. आपको पढ़ना ही पड़ेगा. Because question अगर school level में difficult हो रहा है, they will make it difficult progressive for all the examination. In fact, just 10-15 days ago, we were analyzing the question paper of the CDS examination. And again the questions of CDS, history में, art में, geography वाले, the very, very good questions. In fact, the question looks like शायद UPSC IAS वाला examination है. So just cautioning all of you here, कि आपके पास 1 साल का टाइम जो है अभी से अगले साल तक का, do not neglect your basic studies. So some of what I'm telling you here is very, very elementary. इसमें आपको परेशान नहीं होना है, बट कायदे से, ध्यान से, किताब खोल के NCERTs तो आपको कर ही लेना चाहिए. I'm doing whatever I can and I'm doing beyond, because see, if I start teaching NCERT to you, फिर तो हम आपको बहुत आगे का पढ़ा नहीं पाएंगे. I want to take it towards the exam level. It's actually unfortunate people have to join NCERT के classes. That's not required. आप अपने आप पढ़ो ना NCERT चीजें, ठीक है? So we will add something, of course. Whatever is relevant from NCERT हम क्लास में पक्का ऐड करेंगे. I'm doing this for you. But I want you to get into the process of studying on your own also. ठीक है? So ये terms जो हैं, what is equatorial plane? Okay. Just a minute. Just a minute. Is it okay now? Is it okay now? Okay, fine. So this is the globe here. Okay, so I can just explain this to you quickly on this. So this line here, ये line जो है ये वाला, this is the equator. It tilted है because the axis is like this. So this is the north pole here. The south pole is here. This is tilted like this. Okay, so this is the equator. So imagine if I put a paper through this line. Okay, if I put a paper here, this becomes the equatorial plane. So the latitude you are measuring is the angle from this equatorial plane on the vertical plane. Okay, so this is the horizontal equatorial plane, and on the vertical plane, angle 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30, 40, 60, 70, 80 and 90. Okay, so that's one concept you should know. The latitudes. Latitudes, the longest one equator wala hai. All the others are smaller. You understand this? Okay. Next, let us come towards the longitudes. Longitudes. So, in the latitudes, we are measuring angles from the horizontal plane like this. Okay. In the longitude, what we do is we are measuring, okay, like this. This is the axis like this. We have one reference line, which is the axis. From here, we are measuring the angle, okay, in the horizontal plane. In the latitudes, we are measuring along the vertical plane. Okay. In the longitude, we are measuring along the horizontal plane. So if this line is your axis, the reference line here, then the angle from this 10 degrees, okay, 20 degrees, 30 degrees. So if I draw this as a diagram, agar ye aapka earth hai, this is the line here. So I take one reference here. From this reference I measure. So if you can imagine this angle. Can you all imagine this one here? Imagine this as one line on the surface. This is one reference line. Okay. This is the horizontal plane. So I am measuring this angle here. Okay. For another line here, I will again measure, okay, say this angle. So it's like I am opening up. So if you look at your book here, imagine this book here, ये reference line है, okay? This is the meridian. This is the main meridian here. So the angle between this and one longitude, second longitude, third longitude. So you have got one meridian here, one meridian here, one meridian here. Okay. So this is 0 degree Greenwich meridian. So on the western side, this is one, another one, third one, fourth one, like this. And on the eastern side, okay, it's again will open up like this. So 10 degree, 20 degree, 30 degree and so on. Okay. So latitude you measure from the horizontal plane, you measure along the vertical plane. In the longitude you measure along the horizontal plane. Is it okay, all of you? Okay. So that's about the meridian. Now one thing must remember that latitudes जो है, the latitudes, these are complete circles. Okay. So latitudes are circles. It's a pura circle. It's a complete circle here. They are circles. Whereas the longitudes जो है, the longitudes, these are a half of circles. Means this is one longitude here. The other one is not the same longitude, it's another longitude then. So you have got 0 degree longitude, we have got 180 degree longitude here. Okay. So the longitude do not make a circle. The longitude will make only half of a circle. Okay. That's how we have got, okay, 360 degrees. The longitude are half of a circle. Okay. Acha. This is one point. The second point is, okay, that latitudes are not of a same length, and the equator is the longest, whereas in case of longitude are all of the same length. Okay. Latitudes don't converge. ये converge नहीं करते. Okay. Whereas the longitudes, they will converge at the poles. will converge at the poles. ये दो तीन differences हैं between latitude and longitude. Latitudes are circles, longitudes are not circle, they are half of a circle. Two longitude will make up one circle. Then longitudes are all of same length, okay, because they start from the pole, from the pole, they go right next pole. सारे same length के हैं. Latitude same length के होते नहीं हैं. ठीक है? And two opposite longitude together make a circle. Two opposite longitude together make a circle, and okay, every such pair will divide the earth into two equal halves. Okay, so I have earth, so one longitude here and the second longitude here. ये दोनों मिलाकर become circle, and this plus this together they will divide the earth into half. So every longitude pair, okay, will divide earth into half. But in case of latitude, only equator divides the earth into half. All fine here? Is it okay, all of you? ये जो opposite longitude होता है, इसको एंटीपोडल लॉन्जिट्यूड बोलते हैं. दिस इज द मेरिडियन, दिस इज द रेफरेंस मेरिडियन. द वन जो ऑपोजिट होता है, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज एंटीपोडल मेरिडियन, एंड द डिफरेंस बिटवीन देम विल बी 180 degrees. Okay, we have the reference meridian and we have the antipodal meridian. Antipode means opposites. I have one point here, okay, इसके ठीक opposite में जो point होगा इसको बोलते हैं antipode. I have got one location here, इसके ठीक opposite, diametrically opposite point here is called as the antipode. So this is the reference meridian and this is the antipodal meridian, and the difference between them will always be 180 degrees. Okay, so 0 degree opposite होगा 180. Okay, 10 degrees का opposite होगा 190 degrees. Okay, 90 का opposite होगा 270 degrees and so on. ठीक है, no problem here. अच्छा, now one more term. Every circle that divides earth into two equal halves is called as the great circle. Every circle that divides earth into two equal halves is called as the great circle. Yeah. Yes, Rupesh. It's called as the great circle. So latitude में, which is the great circle? Only the equator. In the latitudes, only the equator is the great circle. Longitude में, no longitude is a great circle. But the longitude along with its antipodal longitude, they become a great circle. Okay. Every longitude along with its antipodal longitude, every meridian with its antipodal meridian together are a great circle. And just know this, अभी आप डिटेल ना घुस, just know this one. जो great circle lines होते हैं, okay, any line which is drawn along a great circle. So this is the great circle and I draw a line here. This is a great circle, I draw a line here. This is one line, the other line on that side. Okay, this becomes a great circle. Okay, any great circle, okay, plane, any great circle plane will always pass through the center of the earth. Any great circle plane will always pass through the center of the earth. And that is why it can divide earth into two parts. I hope you understand this point here. If you draw a plane, if you draw a two-dimensional plane through this, The plane will necessarily pass through the center of the earth. Okay, कोई भी अगर ये great circle है, it'll pass center of the earth. Okay, any great circle dividing the earth two parts will always pass through center of the earth. That's one point. एक और point I said, any line on the great circle, any line on the great circle is always the shortest distance between two places. Any line on the great circle is always the shortest distance between two places. I hope you got the point here. In latitudes? Yes. In latitudes, only equator is the great circle, correct. मतलब ये है, now watch here. Okay, so this is the surface of the earth. So I have a place A and I have a place B. Okay. अगर short distance होगा, if I join a straight line and ensure that this straight line is part of a great circle that passes the center of the earth, then this is the shortest distance. Because see, look at this here. Okay. Place A, says the place here A and a place here B. Okay. I can go along the latitude like this, correct? Okay. There's a one place here A और एक place यहाँ पर B है. How can I travel? I can travel along the latitude like this. Okay. But is this latitude a great circle? No. Okay. So for great circle कैसे होगा? It will be like this. I have to cut like this. So if I'm drawing on the board here, I'm drawing on the board. This is the equator. Okay. These are the latitudes. These are the latitudes here. So this is the place A and this is the place B. I want to travel. If I travel along the latitude, will this be the shortest distance? Yes or no? If I travel along the latitude, will this be a short distance? No. Okay. Short के लिए कैसे होगा? I must draw a great circle. So probably the line will be like this. Okay. So when you travel along the latitude, except for equator, okay, no other location will give you the shorter distance. You have to draw a great circle. So imagine there's a great circle here. You are having a plane that cuts through center of the earth. Then this becomes the shortest distance. तो आप अभी mechanically याद रखो. The shortest distance is okay a line which is part of a great circle. That's the rule. Okay, that is why within bracket mention. That's why for sailing. That is why for sailing, navigation, sailing, navigation. Great circle, navigation charts are used. Great circle, navigation charts are used. Okay, so we'll not go more than into this. इतना काफी है समझने के लिए. Swadhin, what's your question? Should you read NCERT books by setting target to complete class 12? Or go with no Swadhin, you must finish NCERTs independent of the class pace. Okay, this is something you should have done earlier, but आप रखो time every day basis पे 1 hour or 2 hours or whatever. Okay, you finish off NCERTs at your own pace. Don't wait for the class pace. Don't wait कि जब history होगा तब हम history करेंगे. Okay, तब तो हम करेंगे ही करेंगे. Okay, don't wait कि when I will do economy then you'll do economy. Do not look at that. Don't do that. You start on your own. Spend 1 hour, 2 hours, or maybe on Sunday at a stretch 4-5 hours करके खत्म करो उसको. ठीक है? Don't wait for the class pace on that. It'll be nice if you do at a stretch. उठाओ geography, खत्म करो geography. Start history, finish history. That's better. Rather than every day one chapter. Okay, I always recommend wholesome reading. In fact, give me another 10 odd days. we'll start off some with marathon sessions for all you guys also. कि आप हमारे पास आके बैठो, sit for 5 hours at one stretch and finish off polity, finish off geography, finish off history. Okay, so we'll do that. अभी नहीं, but आप शुरू कर लेना. Don't wait for me to start that. Is it okay, all of you here? What is great circle? What's great circle sailing charts? Great circle navigation charts? आ गया आपको all of you? Okay. Now, one more fact you should know is that the equator, sorry, the longitudes and the latitudes, they always cross and cut at 90 degrees. They always will cross and cut at 90 degrees. Okay, so if this is the globe, ये latitudes हैं. Okay, these are the longitudes. Okay, so these angles are always 90 degrees. Remember this. ये सारे 90 degrees हैं. They always cut at 90 degrees. Okay, but because ये curvature है, this is a curvature. That is why this is not a rectangle. Okay, because in rectangle, I need to have opposite sides as equal. Okay, ये भी 90 degrees है. आप कोई भी ले लो आप. अगर all the angles are 90, the opposite sides have to be equal. ठीक है, but ऐसा इसमें नहीं है. Why? Because the surface is the curvature. Okay, so this is not a rectangle, but all the angles are 90 degrees. ठीक है, this is simply called as a grid. We don't call this as a rectangle or a square. We don't call this as a quadrilateral on a two-dimensional plane. ये three-dimensional है. In three-dimensional, the angles are 90, but it is not a rectangle. Is fine, all of you here? अच्छा. Next point, next fact, कल बताया था मैंने. The distance between two latitudes on an average is 111 kilometers or 69 miles. The distance between two latitudes is 111 kilometers or an average is 69 miles. Okay, and within bracket mention that this distance, okay, slightly increases towards the poles because of flattening of the earth. This distance slightly increases towards the poles because of flattening at the poles. Right, closed. Okay, so if you look at the linear distance between the two latitudes, ये होगा 111 kilometer. Between this, again 111 kilometer. Again, between this, 111 kilometer. Okay, but because of flattening, it becomes slightly more towards the poles. Okay, next point here. The distance between the longitudes, however, is not equal. The distance between the longitudes, however, is not equal. Because latitudes are parallels, they don't converge. Because latitudes are parallels, they don't converge, but longitudes converge at the poles. The longitude converge at the poles. So distance between longitude reduces towards the poles. The distance, the linear distance, angular same रहेगा. The linear distance between longitudes will decrease towards the poles. Okay, so our point of conversation here is that this is the equator here. Okay, these are the latitudes here. This is one longitude. This is another longitude here. Okay, so say this longitude is say 10 degree east. So this longitude is say 40 degree east. The difference between these two, okay, अगर ये prime meridian है, prime meridian ये center of the earth है. So this angle is how much? 10 degrees. Can you all imagine this one here? It's like a flap. It's like a flap. Okay. This is one meridian. You have got a plane through this. Another one plane through this. इसके बीच में जो एंगल कितना होगा? ये एंगल कितना है ये वाला? ये है 40 minus 10 which is 30 degrees. ये जो एंगल है ये हर जगह सेम है. आप यहां से भी कर लो कैलकुलेट. ये भी 10 डिग्रीज है. आप यहां से कर लो कैलकुलेट. ये भी 10 डिग्रीज है. ठीक है. सो द एंगल बिटवीन द टू लॉन्जिट्यूड इज सेम बट this distance is more than this distance this is more than this distance. It converges as they go towards the poles. Can you all imagine the diagram, all of you? Imagine diagram हो जाएगा, दिक्कत नहीं होगी फिर. This is the axis. This is the axis of the earth. This is the axis. Okay, the angle between this and this plane. So if I can show this, so this is one plane and there's another plane here. The angle between them, okay, this. The angle between them is this. The distance will reduce. That is why we say, if you look at India, okay, say this is the equator. India is somewhere here, something like this. Okay. This is approximately 6 degrees. This is approximately 37 odd degrees. This is about 97 odd degrees. This is about 68 odd degrees. So अगर आप distance देखोगे, east to west distance, this is 30 degrees difference approximately, and this also is approximately 30 degrees. India का in terms of degrees, east west is 30, north south भी 30 difference है. This is latitude. Latitude 6 degrees, latitude 37 degrees. Meridian 97 degrees, meridian 68 degrees. The east and east is north and north. Okay. Although the angular distance is same, but the east-west distance is more than, the north-south distance is more than the east-west distance. Why? Because ये north में है. North में the meridians are converging. ये converge हो रहे हैं. लिख लो आप. Okay. India has almost 30 degrees extent. India as a country has almost 30 degrees extent. North-south and also east-west. North-south and also east-west. So angular distance is same. Okay. 30 degrees north-south between the two latitudes and 30 degrees east-west between the two meridians. But the linear distance in terms of length on the surface, the linear distance north-south is more than the horizontal distance east-west. The linear distance north-south is more than the horizontal distance east-west. ठीक है. ऑन एवरेज हम बोलते हैं कि 3000 है, बट ऐसा नहीं है. दिस इज स्लाइटली मोर. ओके, कंपेयर दिस वन हियर. इज इट ओके? This is one of the points that we talk about. In terms of angular distance, country has equal extent, north, south and east, west. But east, west distance जो है ये कम है because the meridians are converging. So if you go back to this diagram here, say there is some country here. Okay, so ये distance will be more than say this distance here because it is converging. Okay, I think some of us know this already. Correct. On approximately we say ये 3000 है, but north south is approximately 3200. East west is just about 3000. Okay, 150-200 किलोमीटर का फर्क है between north south and east west. Approximately, north south is about 3200 kilometers. North south is about 3200 kilometers. And east west is approximately around 3000 kilometers. About 3000 kilometers. Approximately 200 kilometer का फर्क है. Okay, so that's about longitude, latitude. Achha, now next point here is Earth's axis is tilted. Okay, it is tilted. So the tilt is 23.5 degrees to the equatorial plane. It is 23.5 degrees, to the horizontal plane. To the horizontal plane. ठीक है? Oh. To the vertical plane. Yeah. It is 6.5 to the horizontal plane. Yeah, thanks. Okay. And the axis is pointing towards, as I said yesterday, towards the Polaris in the north, also called as the North Pole, and is pointing towards the Southern Cross in the southern hemisphere. It is pointing towards the Polaris, also called as the North Pole, and it's pointing towards the Southern Cross in the southern hemisphere. Okay, so ये अगर Earth है, this is the vertical axis of the plane. This is the axis of Earth. It is tilted like this. Like along this axis, the Earth is rotating. This points towards the Polaris. This points towards the Southern Cross. This angle is 23.5 degrees. Okay, which means जो equator होगा वो ऐसे होगा equator now. The equator, all of you find here. This is the equator and this is the equatorial plane. Okay, this part you know. And what you must know is that the axis of the earth has two variations. The axis of the earth has two variations. Now watch. ये है earth axis, okay? Two variations are, one is the angle increases and decreases. Okay, it varies from about 21 odd degrees till about 24 odd degrees. Okay, ये ऐसे होता है variations. So that's one. The second variation is that it also kind of rotates like this. Can you all imagine here? Okay, so ये axis है. एक तो है axis fluctuates like this. The axis fluctuates like this. That's one. ठीक है? अभी शायद 23.5 degrees है. Okay, to the vertical, it can come here is about 21.2, 21.3 approximately, and can come to as much as 24.5 degrees. So this is one variation like this. और एक variation है where, imagine this. अगर ये axis है, this axis can also rotate like this. Can you imagine here, all of you? It rotates. अभी ऐसे point कर रहा है. It can come along this line. It can be along this line. So it's like this. It's rotating like this. Okay? In this rotation, देखो, this line, this angle is 25.5. Even this angle is 20.5, 23.5. It comes here. Even this angle is 23.5. Can you all imagine here? So there is a rotation like this. It's like a conical path it has. These are the two type of variation it has. Okay. So imagine, ये ऐसे भी हो रहा है, एक ऐसे हो रहा है. Okay. And it is also rotating like this. The two different type of motions we have. This variation, this happens, okay, to and back once in 40,000 years. It goes like this and comes back in 40,000 years. ये जो है, this rotation like this happens once in 26,000 years. Start from here, okay. It'll turn like this, it'll come here, again come back, 26,000 years. Okay? This is called as obliquity of the axis. This is variations in the vertical plane. It's called as obliquity. और ये जो रोटेशन है, this is called as precession. इसका फ्रीक्वेंसी है about 40,000 to 41,000. इसका वेरिएशन है about 24,000 to 26,000 years. Okay, 41,000 years. This is called as obliquity of the axis. This is called as the precession variation of the axis. I have a central reference line like this. ये ऐसे घूमता है. It comes like this. Turns like this, it turns like this and comes back here. Yes, this is something like spinning like a top. Lattu घूमता है, spinning like a top, correct. This is called as precision. This is called as obliquity. Precision and all of this will impact climate change on Earth. They'll impact temperature variations. तो कल जो बता रहे थे ना about star vega and not star, वो actually यहां पर लागू होता है. Okay. Right now it is pointing towards the Polaris. इसके opposite में it will point towards the star Vega. Okay. Once in 24,000 years. Okay, from your Polaris to Vega back to Polaris. So between the Polaris and star Vega about 12,000 से 14,000 का ईयर होता है. ठीक है, ऑल गुड. precision and obliquity. Okay, let's move on. Now, yes, has sun. This is the sun here. And imagine this is the plane on which the earth is revolving. Okay? Earth is tilted. ये axis ऐसे है और ये equator है. This is the horizontal plane. The plane along which the earth is revolving around the sun. This plane is called as the orbital plane. So we have an axial plane, we have an equatorial plane, and we have an orbital plane. इसमें क्या difference समझ में आ रहा है? अब आप बताओ, what will be the angle between the orbital plane and the equatorial plane? कितना होगा एंगल? The angle between the horizontal plane and the equatorial plane 23.5. ये वर्टिकल है ना, ये आपका वर्टिकल है. ये कितना एंगल है? 23.5 है. ये भी उतना ही होगा ना. Have you got the point here, all of you? 66 कौन सा होगा? ये एंगल होगा 66. The axis and this one. I am talking about the orbital plane of the earth and the equatorial plane. This is the orbital plane. This is the equatorial plane. This is the axis. This is the axis. This is the vertical. Draw these diagrams properly. बाद में आप रिवाइज करेंगे. Okay, you will not struggle as much. I am assuming here the orbital plane, okay, is the horizontal plane. This is one assumption I am making. The orbital plane, like what I mean by orbital plane, the plane on which the earth revolves around the sun. The plane on which the earth revolves around the sun. ठीक है? इस प्लेन को, all of you done till here? अच्छा, इस प्लेन का एक और नाम है. It's also called as ecliptical plane. It's also called as the ecliptical plane. Eclip, not elliptical. Also called as ecliptical plane. This is same as the orbital plane. Is same as the horizontal plane for our reference. ठीक है? Now look at this. इसमें एक important term है. Watch, see. This is the earth, okay? This is the sun. The earth is revolving around the sun, okay? And the plane is the ecliptic, the orbital plane, okay? For an observer, of course I know that I'm assuming sun is stationary and the earth is going around, correct? But जो earth में observer होगा उसको क्या लगेगा कि earth is stationary and the sun is moving around. Okay, so if I look at the sky, I'm seeing the sun is passing on the sky. It's rising from the east and sets on the west. In reality, what's happening? Okay, earth is spinning ठीक है, and what looks like the sun is moving, what's actually moving? The earth is moving. अच्छा, now ये जो sun move कर रहा है, can you imagine the sun moving will be along the ecliptical plane? Can I say that? Online, watch this, all of you. I repeat. This is the earth, this is the sun. Yeah, earth. Okay. And the plane on which the earth moves is called as the orbital plane or the ecliptical plane. ठीक है? But for an observer on the earth, what does he see? He is seeing that the sun is moving. ये sun भी किस में move करेगा? It'll move on the, again, the same orbital plane. Okay? And if I look at the sky, I'm seeing the sun is moving. ठीक है? So what I'm saying is, if you look at the sky and you trace the path of the sun, it is essentially the line along the ecliptical plane, correct? So the ecliptic है, this word ecliptic, okay, is also the line traced by the sun in the sky, as the sun seems to rise on the east and set in the west. Ecliptic का दोनों मीनिंग है. Ecliptic means the orbital plane on which the earth is revolving around the sun. Ecliptic also means the line traced by the sun in the sky. Okay, as the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Take all of you. So this ecliptic, okay, means both. Ecliptic is a plane, and on the sky अगर देखोगे जो line, जो sun जो line trace करता है, that's also called as the ecliptic. Is it okay, all of you? Fine? Achha. Now this again is a misnomer for all of us. Now watch this. This is, say, the surface of the earth. This is the east. This is the west. The sun rises here. It moves in the sky and it sets in the west. ये लाइन को बोलते हैं ecliptic. ठीक है? Now this line is not perfectly vertical in the sky. ये perfect vertical line कहां पर होता है? ये सिर्फ इक्वेटर पे होता है vertical. Because of Earth's tilt. Okay. This line. So अगर इक्वेटर में खड़े हो, the sun in the east, say this is, okay, for me, this is the east here. If you're saying on the equator, the sun is on the east, it rises up perfectly above, goes overhead, 12 o'clock noon, and then sets perfectly down on my left, which is your west. ठीक है? In all other latitudes, ये जो path है ना, ये perfect vertical नहीं है. Okay, it will be inclined path. East में rise किया, it will go up like this. It will go up like this and come down like this. Okay, so अगर ये equator है, the line is perfectly vertical. अगर equator नहीं है, then rise on the east, it will go like this and come and set here. It will be a slightly inclined path. Okay, you go here, it will be further inclined path like this. You can all imagine here? Okay, ये जो है ये perfect vertical है, ये वाला. This angle is 90 degrees. यहां पर the path will change. So it's something like this. Okay. If it is this one, rise here and set here. This is east, this is west. In all other case, it will be like this. Okay. It will be like this. It will now become this. Can you all imagine here? Okay. Ultimately, क्या होगा? At some place at Arctic Circle, the sun is moving along the plane like this. Okay, so watch here, all of you. Look at my palm here. Look at my palm here. Rise here, go straight up like this. As you go towards the poles, the angle will become less. And finally, at the Arctic Circle, the sun will look like moving on the horizon like this. So if you are in the Arctic Circle, okay, अगर ये ईस्ट है, आपको दिखाई देगा यहां पर सन है और सन होराइजन में ही है, and it's turning along the horizon, comes and sets in the west. Sun दिखाई दे रहा है, and again moving along the horizon. That's why we say it's 24 hours daytime. Okay, I hope you can imagine this diagram, all of you. You can all imagine this diagram. Maybe if I'll try to redraw this. Okay, this here, this is the perfect vertical line. इसके बाद क्या होगा? Okay, it will not be perfect vertical line. It will be like this. Like this. It will be like this, and finally it will be along the horizon. So this angle is 90, but ये कम जाएगा एंगल, ये और कम हो जाएगा, ये और कम होके यहां पर ऑलमोस्ट 0 हो गया. The sun does not follow. ये जो ecliptical line है, the ecliptical line is perfectly vertical only at the equator. As you move towards the poles, the line will now slant and become horizontal. This is what is called as the Arctic Circle. This is 6.5 degrees north. यहां पर the sun is moving along the horizon. ये east है, and this is the west. Okay? So आपको ये जानना था that at the Arctic Circle, the sun will move along the horizon. It will have a complete circular path. आप पूरा दिखाई देगा. Okay, from the east, it is moving along the horizon, shining brightly. Okay, goes towards the west, and then again it continues to shine brightly. That's why you will have 24 hours daytime. यहां पर तो 12 घंटा है. After setting it goes down, you cannot see it, it becomes dark. But यहां पर it is moving along the Arctic Circle. Fine. Yes, it will rotate from east to west, west to east, east to west, it keeps on rotating. Correct. That is why at the Arctic Circle, अगर northern hemisphere का summers है, the sun is moving at the horizon. तो sun का जो angle है, it is 0 here. यहां पर sun angle is 90. Perfectly the horizontal, the sun is at 90 degree angle. बाकी हर जगह the sun's altitude will become less, and at the Arctic Circle becomes 0. ठीक है? Yes. It is a Earth is
equator.
go on.
How can it be perfectly vertical if we measure it?
No, this is true for equinox position. When the sun is overhead. This is not for okay. It's for the equinox. Okay, and otherwise also. For that you must imagine that, got your point. Let me explain like this one. Let me explain this like this. Wait. So this is the earth here. This is the equator here. Okay. Now, this is the vertical axis. if the sun is shining like this, तो क्या होगा? This entire thing is bright, daytime. Okay, and this part is dark, it's night. Okay, this represents 12 hours. Okay, it's like a half here, it's like a half like this. ये vertical है. So 12 hours till here, then 12 hours on this side. 24 hours हो गया. Okay. This represents 12 hours. This represents how much? This? How much? This represents how much? This one represents 12 hours. ये कितना होगा? This also is 12 hours. My earth is rotating, right? ठीक है? So every time the rotation is 24 hours. So whether you see here or you see here or you see here, everywhere is 12 hours. Fine? Okay. ये earth vertical है, axis vertical है. Means every place 12 hours day, 12 hours night. 12 hours day, 12 hours night. 12 hours day, 12 hours night. ठीक है? When vertical. And this line is also called as the circle of illumination. Okay. For vertical axis, the circle of illumination, okay, is cutting all latitudes equally. Correct? If I assume the axis is vertical, okay, the circle of illumination is cutting all the latitudes equally. So this is equal to this. This is equal to this one. This is equal to this one. This is same as this one. All lines are cut equally. But what happens is, या फिर इसी में करते हैं. But see what happens. The earth is here. Now what I'm saying is, the earth is tilted. This is the vertical axis. This is the vertical axis. Okay. Now, the circle of illumination will be where? Along the axis or along the vertical? कैसे होगा? Along the, if the sun is here, okay, this line is the circle of, let me draw it properly. Yeah, axis. This is the vertical. The vertical here, this is the axis, and the sun is shining here. The sun is shining here. So when the tilt हो गया axis का, and I hope you understand, ये अब equator है. This is okay, the another latitude. This is another latitude. Okay, this is another latitude. ठीक है? Now, in the tilt position, the circle of illumination is here. You all imagine here? This is the circle of illumination. When vertical, okay, this is coinciding with the axis. Now it's not with the axis anymore. Now look at this. Earth is spinning like this one. This line, ये equator है. Can you see this and this are same? So you have got 12 hours of daytime and you have got 12 hours of night time. But look at this one. This line is longer than this line. This line is longer than this line. This line is longer than this line. Which means what? The length of the day is equal to the length of the night at the equator. But you go beyond equator, the length of day is more than the length of the night. The length of day is even more than the length of the night. And there will be some point here where the whole thing is daytime, correct? There's no night time here. This is what I was referring to when I said this one. So at the Arctic Circle, the sun is moving along the horizon. There's no night time anymore here. Okay, so look at the diagram again. Because of tilt, the length of day is becoming unequal now. Now, what I said as this one here, you're perfectly vertical. This happens when, the sun is directly over the equator. In all the latitudes, the sun is over this one, but the path will not be perfectly vertical. And yahan par the sun is shining, but the path will not be perfectly vertical. Is it okay, all of you here? I will make you write some of the points here. The angle between equator and ecliptical plane is this, okay? The sun path is traced, denoting the ecliptic. Yes. How is it vertical? Arey, that is only for Yashwardhan. That's what was asked to me. This is only when the sun is shining over the equator. I have not come to that part actually. That's, you understand, I'm talking about revolution. Ye samajh mein aaya aapko, all of you here? So let me get back and revise again. So our point here was, ye point likh rahe the hum, we wrote the point that when the sun is moving along the sky, the path is called as ecliptic. Okay, next I said, जो ecliptic hai, this is perfectly in the vertical plane at the equator. Okay, and we have to add this point at the equator during the equinox. At the equator during the equinox. Equinox क्या होता है? When the sun is shining vertical on the equator. Equinox is the sun is shining vertical at or on the equator. For all other latitudes, the sun's path is not perfectly vertical. The sun's path is not perfectly vertical. Then I said, at the Arctic Circle, the path of sun is along the horizon. At the Arctic Circle, I'm assuming summer in the north. The sun's path is along the horizon. That is, the sun does not set. The sun does not set. It seems to move. The sun does not set. It seems to move in circular path. It seems to move in a circular path along the horizon. Along the horizon. ठीक है? So अभी आपको बस सिखाया what is ecliptic. Next slide down. Next slide down. Give a subheading, length of day. Length of day. Okay. the impact of tilted axis. The length of day, put a hyphen dash, the impact of tilted axis. The first point here is, if Earth's axis was vertical, if Earth's axis was vertical and the sun shining vertically overhead the equator, all latitudes would have equal length of day and night. All latitudes would have equal length of day and night. Okay. You could draw this diagram. Draw this one. Okay. Earth axis vertical hai. Okay. This line is also called as the circle of illumination. The sun is on this side. So the length of day is same as length of night. 12 hours day, 12 hours night. 12 hours day, 12 hours night. And it's same at all latitudes. ठीक है, और यहीं लिख लो, the circle of illumination coincides with the vertical axial plane. The circle of illumination coincides with the vertical axial plane. Is it okay, all of you? This is the axial plane here, like this. The axial plane hai, like this. And this is along this line itself. That's why equal day and equal night. Equal day and equal night. Next point. Because of Earth's tilt, the circle of illumination will no longer always be on the vertical axial plane. Will no longer be on the, don't say vertical, say will no longer be with the axial plane. Don't write the word vertical. The circle of illumination will no longer be along the axial plane. Okay, so ye wala, this is the axial plane. Ye axial plane. Okay, along this one here. And this is the circle of illumination. This is the circle of illumination. Okay, yahin pe add karo. The circle of illumination will now cut the latitudes unequally. Okay, so in the northern hemisphere, the length of day is more. In the southern hemisphere, these are the latitudes here. Here latitudes. Okay, so यहाँ पर this side is here. This side is here. ठीक है? So what happens now is, so if you look at the length of day in the southern hemisphere, this is the length of the day. This is the length of the day. This is length of the day. This is what the sun on this side. This is the sun side. This is the dark side. So your day is small, night is long. day is small, night is long. यहाँ पर day is long, the night is small. Okay? The circle of illumination will cut the latitudes unequally. So draw this diagram, please. If I want to repeat it, this is the earth, the axis, vertical plane, there's the equator. This also is the circle of illumination. These are the parallel latitudes. Okay. This is the length of the day. This is the length of the day. So length of day is small, southern hemisphere में. This is 0, 0, equator. So because of tilt, the latitudes are now cut unequally. Okay. So the length of day will vary except for at the equator. Equator में हमेशा it is always equal. This is equal to this one. It's always same. In all seasons, in all day of the year, equator हमेशा okay आधा आधा कट रहा है. All other places will have okay different length of day and night. All the places will have different length of day and night. ठीक है? So अगर sun is in the northern hemisphere, the length of the day is more in the northern hemisphere. Okay? The length of day and night is unequal. This part is fine, all of you? Okay? This part is fine, all of you? Now, on this we'll superimpose. See, एक confusion होता है for some of you is, what do I mean by, okay, latitude toward the sun, away from the sun? What do I mean by that? So, एक बार सुन लो all of you, then I'll move on. Missing some point? बताओ. What am I missing? The equator. At the equator, at all seasons, at all times of the year, the length of day is equal to length of the night. हमेशा रहेगा. The circle of illumination always cuts the equator into two equal halves. So if I have a question like this, okay, which of the following is a correct statement? Number one, the circle of illumination cuts the equator into two equal halves only in the equinox. Number two, because of tilt of earth, okay, except the equator, no other latitude is ever cut into two equal halves by the circle of illumination. The third statement, okay, length of day and night, is a function of latitude because of Earth's rotation about its axis. Question लिखो. At the question, which of the following is correct statement? Following is a correct statement. The first statement is the circle of illumination. Likho, write down please. The circle of illumination cuts the equator into two equal halves only in the equinox. Cuts the equator into two equal halves only in the equinox. Then, number two, because of the tilt of Earth, except the equator, no other latitude is ever cut into two equal halves by the circle of illumination. No other latitude is cut into two equal halves by the circle of illumination. लिखा आपने? Second done. Third is the length of day and night. The length of day and night is a function of the latitude because of Earth's rotation about its axis. Because of Earth's rotation about its axis. बताओ आंसर क्या होगा? Which of them is correct and which of them is wrong? One तो wrong हो गया. One is wrong. Okay, because the circle of illumination cuts equator in two equal halves at all times of the year, not just at the equinox. Correct? ठीक है? ये statement गलत हो गया. Because of tilt of Earth, except the equator, no other latitude is ever cut to equal halves but of illumination. क्या हो गया? Right or wrong? Right or wrong? This also is wrong. At the equinox, all the latitudes are cut into two equal halves. Equinox में all latitudes have equal day, equal night. अब I'll explain that to you now, but see how we phrase the questions. ठीक है? Third वाला बताओ. Length of day and night is a function of latitude because of Earth's rotation about its axis. Right or wrong? This also is wrong. Length of day and night is a function of latitude because of Earth's tilt, not because of rotation about the axis. The length of day and night. It is the tilt that decides the length is same or not. Is it okay, all of you? So these are those fine ones. So all the three are wrong. आपका प्रिपरेशन कैसा होना चाहिए is I am demonstrating it. Okay. So wait for the other two. I'll explain it in some time. But ये अब आप समझ जाना चाहिए वाला. Length of day and night जो variation होता है, is the variation along latitude or not? Yes or no? Yes. Reason क्या है? Why do we have variation? Because of the tilt of the axis, not because of Earth's rotation about the axis. ठीक है? Rotation will give you day and night. I'm not saying no. But the length कितना होगा? ज्यादा है, कम है, equal होगा, वो कौन डिसाइड करेगा? वो करेगा tilt डिसाइड करेगा. Is it okay? इफ देयर वॉज नो टिल्ट, क्या होगा? लेंथ इक्वल होगा. द इनइक्वालिटी इज बिकॉज ऑफ अर्थ एक्सियल टिल्ट. ओके, सो लेट मी गेट बैक. आई एक्सप्लेन नंबर 2 नाउ. ओके, तो ये वाला प्रॉब्लम है. आई नो सम ऑफ दीज प्रॉब्लम्स दे रिकर. आप बोलते नहीं है इन ऑप्शनल क्लास. आई नो पीपल आर ट्रैप्ड, बट वी डोंट टॉक अबाउट इट. व्हाई? बिकॉज इन ऑप्शन आई डोंट नीड इट, बट ये पता होना चाहिए. ठीक है, लेट मी मूव ऑन नाउ. नाउ लिसन. Now listen, all of you listen. Say this is the earth. Okay, for now let me hold my palm as the earth and ये है axis. This is the axis like this. ठीक है? Axis is vertical. The sun is shining here. Okay, the sun is here. The earth rotates, revolves. It was here. It comes here. It comes here. It comes here. It is revolving. And while revolving, it's also spinning. ठीक है? The sun is directly over the equator. It is on the ecliptical plane. It is on the orbital plane. And because earth vertical है, this also is the equatorial plane. Correct? The sun is shining perfectly along the equator. Okay. At this position, when the earth comes here, again it's perfectly at the equator यहाँ पर. It's here. When the earth is here, the sun is again at the equator here perfectly. And when the earth comes here, again it's perfectly at the equator here. So अगर जब vertical होगा, the sun is always along above the equator, because the equatorial plane, the orbital plane and the ecliptic, they perfectly match. Now what happens? Because of tilt, ये इसको ऐसे कर दो आप. Now the equator is here. Okay, this latitude has come here. So now the sun is not shining over the equator, it's shining above some line here. ठीक है? This is vertical. This is equator. All of you watch. This is equator. This is the vertical axis. The sun is shining above the equator. Okay. जब ये टेढ़ा हो जाएगा ऐसे, now the sun shines somewhere here, not at the equator. Okay. ये sun ये और टेढ़ा होगा. The sun is now shining at the poles. ठीक है? So this is the sun shining at the equator. The tilt happens. The sun shines here. The tilt happens. The sun shines here. The tilt happens. The sun shines here. And अर्थ का ऐसा है, द टिल्ट का जो डायरेक्शन है ये हमेशा सेम रहता है. Assuming there is no obliquity and there is no precision. It's always like this. So it's like this. It comes here. It revolves, comes here. Okay. It revolves and comes here. It revolves and comes here. ये ऐसे ही घूम रहा है. Okay. So when it is here, this is above the equator. Okay. Tilted, it is now here. When the sun comes here, okay, understand, ये जो equator है, this is like a circle here. So you also have, take it like this now. Hey, watch here. I'm holding this like this. This is the equator. And this pencil is also along the equator. Can you all observe this here? ये पेंसिल भी along the equator ही है. Okay? The sun is shining here. जब ये tilt हो जाएगा, okay, the sun is shining here. But when it is here, the sun is still on the equator. Can you imagine this here? I repeat, watch here. Online, watch this again. This is equator. Tilting में ऐसे हो रहा है tilt, right? ये ऐसे हो रहा है. Okay. The sun is here. Because of tilt, it has now come here. But when the position is here, ये tilt होने के बावजूद sun यहीं रहेगा ना? Can you imagine here? Okay, so this is what happens in the revolution. This is the sun. Okay, this is the tilt. Because of tilt, ये equator है. Okay, the sun is shining somewhere here. Okay, because of the tilt. Okay, ये equator है. The sun is shining, okay, somewhere here. But when this comes here, then the whole thing is towards the sun. Okay, this is the northern hemisphere. ये है southern hemisphere. This is northern hemisphere. ये है southern hemisphere. Okay, in this position, the north is towards the sun. In this position, the south is towards the sun. Okay, लेकिन जब ये यहां पर होगा, नॉर्थ साउथ बोथ लाइक दिस, तो टुवर्ड्स सन क्या होगा? अब इक्वेटर होगा, यहां पर होगा. द अर्थ इज हियर, द सन इज शाइनिंग ऑन दिस साइड, तो एंटायर हाफ ऑन बिहाइंड. इफ यू गो हियर, यहां पर क्या है? द सन इज ओके ऑन दिस ऑर्बिटल प्लेन, इस प्लेन में है. द सन इज राइट ऑन दिस, ये पूरा पार्ट, एवरीवेयर इट इज सनलाइट. So again, if you draw the circle of illumination, ये है circle of illumination. This is the circle of illumination. इसमें the circle is this line. Can you imagine here? In this, the circle is like this. In this, the circle is like this. In this, the circle of illumination is like this. तो यहां पर if you draw the latitudes, okay, length of day is more, length of night is less. Length of day is more, length of night is less. If you look at this one, length of day is less, the length of night is more. Look at here. Okay, the length of day is more, the length of night is less. The length of day is more, length of night is less. Look at here. The length of day is less, the length of night is more. Got it, all of you? But यहां पर क्या हो रहा है? All the latitudes are towards the sun. तो ये पूरा जो है equal day on this side, equal night on the other side. This is towards sun. This is sun. This is the sun in the northern hemisphere. This is the sun in the southern hemisphere. यहां पर sun is equal on both the hemispheres. This is the sun, okay, on both hemisphere. This is sun on both hemisphere. इधर जो होगा आपका. So this, okay, northern hemisphere के लिए this is called as. अच्छा, now before I move on, watch here, all of you. Hey, online, are you getting hang of what I'm saying? Online? Yes? All fine? You have to go back and revise once again. Okay, I'm not saying no. But if you listen to me, you know the story what's happening. What do I mean by sun towards some latitude or not? Okay, this is sun in the north, so longer day in the north. Sun in the south, so longer day in the south. Okay, sun in the north, nights are small. Sun in the south, okay, यहां पर night small होगा. Okay, यहां पर days लंबा है, यहां पर day छोटा है, night लंबा है. You just remember this one. This is the line of illumination, the circle of illumination. यहां पर, okay, this is half, the other side will have half. So equal day, equal night. यहां पर unequal day and night है, unequal day and night है. Okay, now listen. Now watch. If the earth is vertical like this, and the earth is revolving, okay, the sun is always at the equator. The orbital plane, the equatorial plane, the ecliptic, सब एक साथ है. और सन जो है हमेशा इसी के ऊपर है, यहां चेंज नहीं हो रहा है. सन ओवर इक्वेटर, सन ओवर इक्वेटर, सन ओवर इक्वेटर, सन ओवर इक्वेटर, no problem here. But the moment tilt happens, sun in some northern latitude here, okay, then you have come here, the sun is over the equator, you have come here, the sun over southern latitude, and you have come here, sun over equator again. So it looks like, from observing, it looks like the sun was in the north latitude, it comes to the equator, it goes towards the southern hemisphere, the sun again comes back to equator, again to north, so north to equator, equator to south, south, it goes on like this. This is what is called as the apparent movement of the sun because of Earth's tilt. Is the sun actually moving? No. Is the sun actually moving? No. Sun वहीं पर है. Is the earth going up and down? No. Earth भी वहीं पर है. Earth का बस tilt है. तो लगता है कि पहले सन यहां पर था. जब यहां पर आया, सन इक्वेटर पे आ गया. जब यहां पर आया, सन साउथ में आ गया. जब यहां पर आया, सन again on the equator. It goes on like this. For an observer, it looks like, okay, the sun was here, then the sun comes here, then the sun comes here, the sun is again back here, the sun comes here, again the sun. So the sun is, it looks like the sun is moving between two latitudes. ठीक है? यहां तक all of you fine here? Revolve कर रहा है. Sun is here, earth is here and spinning. Will I have north-south movement of the sun? No. Earth must revolve. Yes. हाँ, बताओ. With the vertical plane, and the vertical plane has the axis of the earth. ये axis है. Okay. Okay. और जो वर्टिकल प्लेन इसी के साथ जा रहा है. ठीक है. जब ऐसे होता है, okay, तब ये जो लाइन ऐसे काट दे रहा है इसको. जब इक्विनॉक्स में होता है, द एक्सिस इज ऑन दिस वर्टिकल प्लेन ऑफ द लाइन ऑफ इल्यूमिनेशन और द सर्कल ऑफ इल्यूमिनेशन. ठीक है. यस, करेक्ट मसरूफ. What I'm saying here. Now look at this. देखो. Think of a ball. I throw the ball above. Okay. The velocity becomes less. कहीं पर zero हो जाएगा. And then will start falling down. The zero is for a moment. I think all of us know very basic physics here. You throw a ball upwards, it becomes less because of gravity, becomes zero, and then comes down. Think the same way. Okay, the sun is here. Okay, the sun comes down, then moves back. Comes down, while moving back, it looks like sun has stopped. And then it moves back. Sun has stopped. Again the sun moves back. Can you see this here? जो sun stop हो जाता है, लगता है stop हो गया, before changing direction, that is called as solstice, which is sun standing still. The sun was going in the northern hemisphere, it stops. Okay, then it starts coming down. Southern hemisphere, it stops. Again comes back towards the north. ये जब चेंज होता है, इट लुक्स लाइक द सन हैज स्टॉप्ड। तो सॉल्स्टिस का मतलब यही है, सन स्टैंडिंग स्टिल। इज इट ओके? ओके, नाउ लिसन, नाउ वॉच हियर। यहां तक ऑल ऑफ यू फाइन? ऑनलाइन, इज इट ओके? यहां तक ऑनलाइन, इज इट ओके? I wish I had animations for this. I'm sure there are animations. Okay, हमने नहीं बनाया अभी, बट आप मेरा हाथ वाथ देख के कुछ ना कुछ समझ जाओगे आप लोग। Now watch here, listen. Now listen, watch here. When the axis is vertical, okay, the sun is exactly at the equator, correct? ठीक है, अब हल्का सा टिल्ट करो, the sun will go north थोड़ा सा, अगेन कम डाउन थोड़ा सा, अगेन गो अप थोड़ा सा, ऐसे मूव करेगा। आपने और टिल्ट कर दिया, अब क्या होगा? सन विल गो टुवर्ड्स द बिट मोर नॉर्थ, विल कम डाउन बिट मोर साउथ। आपने और टिल्ट किया, विल अगेन गो बिट मोर नॉर्थ, विल मेक इट हॉरिजॉन्टल। क्या लगेगा? सन इज एट द नॉर्थ पोल, सन इज एट द इक्वेटर, एंड सन इज एट द साउथ पोल, सन बैक ऑन इक्वेटर। So the apparent shift जो है, okay, the latitude distance, it increases with increasing tilt. Can I say this? Yeah, online, is it okay? The latitude shift of the sun, it increases with increasing tilt. Is it okay? Okay, now, at certain angle, sun तो यहीं तक जा रहा है ना, that limit, okay, up to which the sun goes is called as the tropics. The tropic of Cancer is the northernmost limit up to where the sun goes. The tropic of Capricorn is the southernmost limit up to where the sun goes. Because ये geometry है फिर, because the tilt is 23.5, so ये सदर्न और नॉर्दर्न लिमिट भी 20.5 तक ही है। मतलब क्या है? अगर टिल्ट 60 हो गया तो कितना बन जाएगा ट्रॉपिक ना? अप टू 60। तो ट्रॉपिक्स का जो लोकेशन है, ओके, दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन द टिल्ट ऑफ द अर्थ। इफ द टिल्ट इज 90 degrees, then tropic has come up to the poles. If the tilt is 0, then sun is at equator. Do you understand the meaning of the word tropics now? What do the tropics denote? The tropics denote the maximum northern and the southern limit up to where the sun will shift because of Earth's tilt. And for geometrical purpose, okay, reasons, the northern southern का जो shift है is equal to the tilt of the axis. Tilt है 23.5, tropic of Cancer is 23.5, and the tropic of Capricorn also is 23.5. Is it okay, all of you? What does the tropic denote? Tropic denotes कि जहां पर सन पहुंच के स्टॉप हो जाएगा और फिर नीचे आएगा, उसका लेंथ कितना होगा? Equal to the tilt of the Earth's axis. Okay, so in this diagram of mine, in this diagram, the sun shining here, so this is the tropic. Okay, in this case, the sun shining here, ये maximum है, this is the tropic. So this is the tropical latitude का extent. Okay, this will be the tropical latitudes extent. This is 23.5 degrees north. This is 23.5 degrees south. This is called as the Tropic of Cancer. This is called as the Tropic of Capricorn. और यहां पर the sun is on the equator. All the latitudes are equally cut. Equal days, equal nights. इसीलिए इसको बोलते हैं इक्विनॉक्स। इसको भी बोलते हैं इक्विनॉक्स, मींस इक्वल नाइट्स, इक्वल नाइट्स, इक्वल नाइट्स, अनइक्वल डे एंड नाइट, अनइक्वल डे एंड नाइट, नॉर्दर्न लिमिट, southern limit. Sun stops and then moves down. So solstice and solstice. ये north में है तो summer solstice for the north. ये south में है तो winter solstice for the north. That's all. Is it okay, all of you? Yes. Yes, यहां पर at the equinox positions. Because वहां पर tilt है. Okay, वहां पर sun is not on the equator. तो इस पोजीशन के लिए you will have this. ठीक है? टिल्ट का रीजन जो है 20.5 टिल्ट है. हाँ, बदल सकता है. अभी 23.5 है, जो 24 हो जाएगा ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर भी 24. सन उतना दूर तक जाएगा टिल्ट में.
टिल्ट हो रहा है तो आप बोल रहे हैं टिल्ट के हिसाब से सन रिफ्लेक्ट करेगा, चाहे नीचे साउदर्न या नॉर्दर्न. टिल्ट के हिसाब से सदर्न नॉर्दर्न में रिफ्लेक्ट करेगा ना सन.
हाँ, गो ऑन.
वो ऑब्लिक्विटी की वजह से टिल्ट हो रहा है या
ऑब्लिक्विटी टर्म यूज क्यों कर रहे हो आप? हम बस टिल्ट कह रहे हैं. एंगल कैन वेरी, दैट इज ऑब्लिक्विटी. ओके, अब जो भी एंगल हो, अगर टिल्ट है तो सन विल गो नॉर्थ एंड साउथ. अगर टिल्ट ज्यादा है बिकॉज ऑफ एक्सट्रीम ऑब्लिक्विटी, then tropic of cancer will be 24 degrees north. Yes, so for all our purpose it has been 23.5. If you stay as long as 41,000 years you will see all of this then. Okay, ठीक है? I have told the story to you. I'll make you write this. होता है क्या, by the time you revise you will again forget all of this one. So I'll give you 1 2 3 4 points to understand. इसी की वजह से होता है. ठीक है, सो उसको हम आएंगे व्हेन आई कम लेटर ऑन. ठीक है, सो आवर डिस्कशन इज ओके, टिल्ट ऑफ एक्सिस, ओके, एंड एसोसिएटेड, ओके, इफेक्ट बिकॉज ऑफ अर्थ्स रेवोल्यूशन. टिल्ट ऑफ एक्सिस and the associated effect because of Earth's revolution. देखो, रोटेशन को हम अज्यूम करें तो हो ही रहा है, उसके लिए थोड़ी है. ओके, बट व्हाट्स हैपनिंग, ओके, द सन मूविंग नॉर्थ एंड साउथ. तो फर्स्ट पॉइंट लिखो, राइट, 1 2 3 4 पॉइंट्स. द फर्स्ट पॉइंट इज इफ अर्थ्स एक्सिस वाज वर्टिकल, if Earth's axis was vertical, the equatorial plane, the orbital plane, the equatorial plane, the orbital plane, and the ecliptical plane would coincide, and the sun would always shine directly above, and the sun would always shine directly above the equator. Above the equator. All good? That's point number 1. If the Earth's axis was vertical, the orbital plane, the equatorial plane, and the ecliptic would all coincide, and the sun was always shine vertically above the equator. Number 2. Because of Earth's tilt and Earth's revolution around the sun, the sun no longer always shines over the equator at all times of the year. The sun no longer shines above the equator at all times of the year. Next paragraph, same point. The sun seems to move north and south. The sun seems to move north and south of the equator. And put a star mark here, or put maybe third point. Third point likho aap. The latitudinal distance up to which the sun will shift apparently. The latitudinal distance up to which the sun will shift apparently depends on what? Depends on what? Depends on the tilt of the Earth's axis. Excellent, yes. Depends on the tilt of the Earth's axis. ठीक है? जितना ज्यादा, इसके लिए समझने का ये तरीका है. वर्टिकल है, sun is not moving, and imagine Earth is horizontal. Okay, the sun will come up to the North Pole, correct? तो अगर कम टिल्ट है तो कहीं बीच तक जाएगा. Okay, so कितना दूर तक जाएगा will depend on the tilt of the Earth. Within bracket mention, because Earth's tilt is 20.5 to the vertical, Earth's axial tilt is 23.5 to the vertical. The latitudinal limits of the sun's apparent motion. The latitudinal limits of the sun's apparent motion is also 23.5 degrees. Is also 20.5 degrees north and south. These are the tropic limits. These are the tropic limits. अच्छा, क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे आपको हम इसी से लिंक्ड. ओके, द सन इज ऑलवेज above the equator at all times of the year, right or wrong? Okay, all of you listen. इसको आप समझ के आंसर, ठीक है? The sun is always above the equator at all times of the year, right or wrong? Wrong. ठीक है? ठीक है. Now we know the sun can go up to the tropics. Next statement. अब सुन लो पहले. Okay, I'm just asking questions to you. Next statement. The sun is not always on the equator. Okay. Therefore, the length of day and night will vary at the equator, right or wrong? The sun is not always on the equator. ठीक है? Therefore, the length of day and night will vary at the equator, right or wrong? Wrong. इसमें क्या मिस्टेक है? इसमें क्या मिस्टेक है? इसमें मिस्टेक ये है कि length of day and night does not depend on whether the sun is on the latitude or not. It depends on what? It depends on what? It depends on the circle of illumination. वो कैसे काट रहा है? Okay, this is the typical assertion reasoning वाला questions. ठीक है? देखने में actually बहुत simple questions. It's just a bit of understanding here. Okay, तो इक्वेटर पे हमेशा सन ऊपर हो ना हो, इक्वेटर हमेशा will have equal day and night. Okay. The length of day and night does not depend on whether the sun is shining overhead or not. Is point clear, all of you? That's one conclusion you're drawing. Okay. Second conclusion is, sun is overhead, okay, only within the tropical latitudes in a year, right or wrong? The sun is overhead only within the tropical latitudes within a year. राइट और रॉन्ग? ट्रू। सन ओवरहेड कभी ट्रॉपिक्स के बियॉन्ड हो ही नहीं सकता, ठीक है? तो विद इन द ट्रॉपिक्स कभी सन इक्वेटर पे ओवरहेड है, कभी यहां ओवरहेड है, कहीं यहां ओवरहेड है, कभी यहां ओवरहेड है, ये मैक्सिमम। इसके बाद सन कभी ओवरहेड होता ही नहीं है, ठीक है? उसके बाद इट कैन चेंज, सो इट इज ओवरहेड ओनली विद इन द ट्रॉपिक्स. If I frame a question like, because the sun is not overhead at any other latitude beyond the tropics, therefore, beyond tropics, we never have equal length of day and night. Right or wrong? Wrong. वही है, overhead पे depend नहीं करेगा length of day and night. Yes, it will depend on the circle of illumination. ठीक है? तो these are those, ये अगर समझ रहे हो फिर आपको समझ में आ रहा है concepts. Okay, I repeat the statement I said. Because the sun is never overhead at any latitudes beyond the tropics. ठीक है? Therefore, the latitude beyond the tropics will never have equal length of day and night. Is a wrong statement. Okay, length of day and night will not depend on sun overhead है या नहीं है, ठीक है? Okay, go back. क्या लिखा लास्ट पॉइंट? क्या लिखा आपने? Yeah, within the tropic. Yes, the sun is overhead only within the tropical limits. So put a star mark here. Put a star mark here. If the axial tilt increases, if the axial tilt increases, क्या होगा? The tropical latitude limits will क्या? Will increase. If the axial tilt increases, the tropical latitude limits will increase. Means sun can go north beyond 23.5 also. ठीक है? ठीक है? Okay. Next point. Next point. The solstice positions are the solstice, SOLSTICE. The solstice positions are the time of the year. The time of the year when the apparent movement of the sun changes direction between the latitudes. The apparent movement of the sun changes the direction. Okay, क्या लिखा आपने? Direction between the latitudes. Between the latitudes. Means it was going north, north, north. It again changes towards south. It comes south, south. It changes towards north. तो solstice क्या है? वो पोजीशन है जहां पर उसका डायरेक्शन चेंज हो गया. It was going north. At the solstice position, it'll start going south. It's going south, it'll now change towards the north. Okay, so within bracket, solstice is sun standing still. The northern and the southern limits. The northern and the southern limits of the sun changing direction. Of the sun changing direction. ठीक है? ये दो डेट्स हैं, जून 21st एंड दिसंबर 22nd. ओके, जून समर हो गया, दिसंबर विंटर हो गया, इसमें कंफ्यूजन क्या है? जून 21st एंड दिसंबर 22nd. ठीक है? इज व्हेन, ओके, तो जून 21st में the sun is over tropic of Cancer. December 22nd में the sun is over the tropic of Capricorn. वाई भी इसे विंटर्स बिकॉज नॉर्थ में होता है विंटर, थोड़ा नॉर्थ साउथ बायस है. Okay, all our physical positions are in reference to northern seasons. ठीक है? So June 21st is the summer solstice and December 22nd is the winter solstice. It is not exact. It varies. It varies because of leap year thing. Okay. And the sun exactly doesn't take 365 days और exactly भी 24 hours नहीं है. ठीक है? इसको एवरेज भी नहीं बोलेंगे, इसी रेंज में रहता है. For example, very unique. It happens once in 1000 years. 2021 में जो आपका ऑटम इक्विनॉक्स था, अदरवाइज इक्विनॉक्स कब होता है? डेट याद है आपको इक्विनॉक्स का? इट इज इन द मंथ ऑफ मार्च 21st एंड सितंबर 23rd, 22nd and 3rd, ऐसे लिखते हैं. Okay. But this equinox of September can happen anytime between 21st to 24th. Once in 1000 years, it happens on 21st of September. 21 जो ईयर था, उसमें हुआ था 21st of September को हुआ था equinox. So the dates are not exact. ये variations होते रहते हैं इसमें. Because of leap year, because the rotation is not exactly 24 hours, because the revolution is not exactly 26, 365 days and so on. These variations हैं, वो range है. But most of us accept it. Let's keep it at 22nd or 23rd of September. ठीक है? So you can say approximated date है वो वाला. Okay? Fine. Let's move on. So solstice, then the equinox. Next point. Equinox is when आप बताओ, in the summer solstice, which pole is towards the sun? In the summer solstice, ये summer है. Which pole is towards the sun? The north pole. ये है north pole. The north pole towards sun, and the sun is shining over the Tropic of Cancer. In the winter solstice, it is the southern pole towards the sun, and the sun is shining over the Tropic of Capricorn. In equinox, which pole is towards the sun? None. Equator is towards the pole. Watch here. This is the Earth axis. Okay? And this is, I said, the equator. Equator here. So, tilt, summer solstice. Okay? Sun is here. Tilt, winter solstice. जब वो यहां पर होगा, तब ये जो इक्वेटर का जो लाइन है, ये टुवर्ड सन होता है. ठीक है? So in the equinox position, neither north pole nor south pole. It is the equator towards the sun. The same thing in case of the other equinox. In the equinox, neither of the poles are towards the sun. In the equinox, neither of the poles are towards the sun. It is the equator towards the sun. It is the equator towards the sun. Okay. The circle of illumination cuts all latitudes equally. The circle of illumination cuts all the latitudes equally. And therefore, all latitudes have equal days and equal nights. All latitudes have equal days and equal nights. ठीक है? इसका दो पोजीशन है. मार्च 21st It's called as spring. March 21st is called as spring or vernal equinox. Spring or vernal equinox. And the second is September 22nd. Is also called as the autumn equinox. Autumn equinox. And remember that the dates are approximates, okay? It can vary, 2 or 3 days ka variations hota hai. They'll write down, okay, December 22nd, 23rd, okay, they'll write down March 20th, 21st, ऐसे लिखते हैं. You should know that they are approximated. So equinox is when the sun is shining over equator and the days and nights are equal at all places. ठीक है? That's why it's called as equinox. So diagram में दिखाना है अगर आपको, this is the earth, this is towards sun, northern pole, this is towards sun is southern pole, the sun shines over the Tropic of Cancer, the sun shines over the Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, this position, okay, all the latitudes are cut equally by the circle of illumination. This is the sun revolves, the earth revolves like this. This is the month of June 21st. This is March 21st. This is December 22nd. And this is September 23rd. This is the spring equinox. This is the autumn equinox. This is summer solstice. This is winter solstice. So length of day and night, okay, is not dependent on the latitude on which the sun is shining. यहाँ पर the sun is on equator, but all latitudes have equal day and night. यहाँ पर the sun is on the Tropic of Cancer, okay, and the Tropic of Cancer has longer days, okay, compared to equator. ठीक है? No, I'm just repeating, that's all. लेकिन जरूरत नहीं, you just know this now. Okay, so you could add one point here. Okay, you can add statement, one or two statement one. Statement one is the sun is overhead. The sun is overhead on latitudes only within the tropics. The sun is overhead on the latitudes only within the tropics. And therefore, okay, no latitudes beyond tropics will have equal days and nights. And therefore, no latitudes beyond tropics will have equal days or nights. Statement is wrong. This is the wrong statement. Okay? It's like revision I'm doing. Second statement. Okay? The sun is shining always over the equator. The sun is shining always over the equator. And therefore, equator always has equal days and nights. And therefore, equator always has equal days and nights. ये भी क्या होगा? Wrong statement. This also is a wrong statement. Okay? अच्छा now ये जो है the length of days and nights are unequal. The sun shining more in the north. Okay, this is what is seasons. The next point, next statement लिखो आप. These two statements put in a box. जो अभी दिया आपको दो statements उसको box में डाल दो. Is for your revision understanding. Okay. The next statement continuing. The apparent, now see if I ask you this one, सुनो आप, seasons are because of Earth's rotation, because of Earth's revolution, because of apparent shift of sun between latitudes. आप क्या मार्क करोगे? Seasons because of Earth's rotation, seasons is because of Earth's revolution, and season because of apparent shift of sun between the latitudes. क्या मार्क करेंगे आप? This is most right, no? ठीक है, I am saying of course, अगर revolution नहीं है तो कुछ भी नहीं होने वाला. But think of a case where there is revolution, but no, okay, apparent sun shift will have seasons. Achha. This is because of what? Because of axial tilt. So if I ask you one reason, tell me, why do we have seasons? आप क्या mark करेंगे? You'll mark this one. You will ask me, sir, why not this one? आप गलत नहीं है. But think of a case where I don't have a tilt and earth revolves. Will I have seasons? No. That's why the most important factor for seasons is the tilt axis, not the other two. ये तो है ही, I'm assuming that here. ठीक है, write down this point here. Okay, seasons are primarily because of apparent motion of the sun between the north and the southern hemisphere. Apparent motion of the sun between the northern and the southern hemisphere. And this in turn is primarily because of axial tilt. Because of axial tilt. ठीक है, अगर एक्सिस टिल्ट नहीं होगा तो सीजन्स नहीं होने वाला. All other factors remaining the same. Okay, so now listen. because of obliquity, what gets impacted? If I ask you a question, Nico question. Because of obliquity, which of the following are impacted? Because of obliquity, which of the following are impacted? Number one, the length of day and night. First statement, the length of day and night through the year across latitudes. Number two, second statement, number two, the dates of equinox and solstice. The dates of equinox and solstice. Number three, the duration of the seasons. Number four, seasonal contrasts. बताओ. It can be more than one statements, okay? It can be more than one statements. अब थोड़ा सोचो यार, come on, will not. मैं कुछ सोच के ही फ्रेम कर रहा हूं statements, okay? What's obliquity? Angle of the axis is changing. Because of change of axis, what will change? Will the length of day and night change? Yes or no? हाँ? COI? अच्छा, इसको एक और उठाते हैं. अगर टिल्ट नहीं होता तब लेंथ ऑफ डे एंड नाइट सेम होता, अनइक्वल होता? सेम होता. अनइक्वल है किसी वजह से है, बिकॉज ऑफ टिल्ट है. तो ज्यादा टिल्ट होगा तो क्या होगा? ज्यादा अनइक्वल होगा ना. तो उसको छोड़ क्यों रहे हो? ठीक है. So will the length of day and night change because of axial tilt? Yes, it will change. I got it. I hope got it. I said logic करो उसको ना, कि अगर टिल्ट नहीं होता तो कोई भी लेंथ का डिफरेंस है नहीं. ऑल इक्वल लेंथ इक्वल डे. अगर हल्का से टिल्ट होगा तो थोड़ा लेंथ चेंज होगा. अगर ज्यादा टिल्ट होगा तो और ज्यादा चेंज होगा. ओके. सो लेंथ ऑफ डे एंड नाइट विल चेंज. करेक्ट. दैट इज अ स्टेटमेंट राइट. ओके. एक और स्टेटमेंट क्या है? ओके. द डेट ऑफ इक्विनॉक्स एंड सॉल्स्टिस विल चेंज. ये राइट है, रॉन्ग है? राइट है कि रॉन्ग है? ये रॉन्ग है. बिकॉज आपका डेट्स विल डिपेंड ऑन द अर्थ रेवोल्यूशन. अगर अर्थ फास्ट रिवॉल्व करेगा तो टाइमिंग चेंज हो जाएगा आपका. ठीक है. अब टिल्ट इतना हो या इतना हो, ठीक है, टुवर्ड्स द सन, ओके, मैक्सिमम जून 21 को ही हो सकता है. इज इट ओके आपका? ऑल ऑफ यू फाइन? अनलेस यू चेंज द कैलेंडर मंथ, वो अलग बात है. कि हमारा कैलेंडर जनवरी शुरू होगा, जून से करेंगे, वो अलग बात है. अदरवाइज द डेट्स ऑफ द इक्विनॉक्स एंड सॉल्स्टिस विल नॉट चेंज. ठीक है. अच्छा, नेक्स्ट क्या है? द ड्यूरेशन ऑफ द सीजन्स, विल दैट चेंज? Will the duration of the seasons change? इसको रिवर्स करो कि अगर आपका वर्टिकल होता तो क्या सीजन्स होता? नहीं होता. बिकॉज टिल्ट है तो सीजन्स हैं. जितना टिल्ट होगा ड्यूरेशन विल चेंज. वी गॉट द पॉइंट हियर. तो जितना ज्यादा टिल्ट होगा द लेंथ ऑफ समर बढ़ जाएगा. फिर आपका स्प्रिंग ऑटम कुछ नहीं होने वाला. ठीक है. Is it okay, all of you? The duration will change. And what about the contrast? Contrast will increase. Okay? अब देखो, अगर अर्थ वर्टिकल है कोई कंट्रास्ट है आपका? नो कंट्रास्ट. ओके, द समर एट एनी टाइम, समर विंटर सेम चल रहा है आपका. बिकॉज ऑफ टिल्ट, समर बिकम्स हॉटर, विंटर इज कूलर. जितना ज्यादा टिल्ट होगा, समर विल मोर हॉटर. Have we got the point here? इसमें अगर एक और ऐड कर दो स्टेटमेंट, बिकॉज ऑफ ऑब्लिक्विटी द लैटिट्यूडनल extent of the tropics will change. Right or wrong? Right? These answers you cannot attempt by memorizing. आपको समझना पड़ेगा ये प्रोसेस. ड्यूरेशन, अब देखो हमारे सीजन्स में क्या है, समर, ऑटम, विंटर, स्प्रिंग, यही चल रहा है हमारा. ये डिफरेंस क्यों होता है? बिकॉज ऑफ ट्रांजिशन टाइम. ठीक है, अगर आपका टिल्ट ज्यादा हो गया, अगर आपका वर्टिकल होता, ना कोई समर ना कोई विंटर, हल्का सा टिल्ट हुआ तो 2-3 मंथ्स ऑफ समर, और टिल्ट होगा 3-4 मंथ्स ऑफ समर, और टिल्ट होगा, बिकॉज द टाइम टेकन टू गो नॉर्थ एंड कम डाउन साउथ विल चेंज नो आपका. इसीलिए आपका द लेंथ ऑफ समर एंड विंटर विल चेंज. ठीक है, सो लेंथ ओके विल डिपेंड ऑन ओके, एक है अर्थ का रेवोल्यूशन, सेकेंड इज कितना टिल्ट है. तो ये समझने के लिए बेस्ट है इसको वर्टिकल कर दो, तो कोई कंट्रास्ट भी नहीं है, कोई सीजन्स भी नहीं है. जितना ज्यादा टिल्ट होगा उतना लेंथ ऑफ सीजन्स होगा, उतना कंट्रास्ट भी होगा. ओके, जितना टिल्ट होगा, समर इज वेरी हॉट, विंटर इज वेरी वेरी कोल्ड, बहुत दूर है. ठीक है, हल्का सा टिल्ट है, समर वार्म है, विंटर कोल्ड है बट नॉट एज कोल्ड. जितना दूर जाएगा उतना कोल्ड होने वाला है. तो ड्यूरेशन विल चेंज एंड ऑल्सो द कंट्रास्ट विल चेंज. हाउ इक्विनॉक्स विल अकर इफ हायर टिल्ट. इक्विनॉक्स टिल्ट पे डिपेंड ही नहीं करता. आपका टिल्ट जितना भी हो, ओके, नाइदर पोल इज टुवर्ड द सन. इतना हो तब भी ओवर इक्वेटर है, इतना है तब भी ओवर इक्वेटर है. यस इट विल, यस रोहित, करेक्ट, बट टाइमिंग्स विल नॉट चेंज. टाइमिंग का बोल रहे हैं. ओके, solstice timing will not change, Rohit. Yes, timing will depend on the revolution. Correct. एक और भी है, I'll discuss tomorrow. Okay, so I'm done with the class today, but I want all of you to stay back for another half an hour. Okay, we'll have a small discussion on आपका क्या क्या काम होने वाला है beyond the class. Okay, so that is what we take pride in at our institute Edukemy. We don't stop at the class alone. क्लास तो बेटा आप कहीं भी कर लो, कंटेंट वही है. इट्स लाइक एनसीईआरटी किताब, आप किसी भी स्कूल में चले जाओ, पढ़ाना तो वही है ना आपको. इट्स अबाउट हाउ वी इंगेज. ओके, आपके असाइनमेंट्स हैं एंड इट विल नॉट बी कन्वीनियंट, बट आपको करना पड़ेगा. ओके, सो प्लीज डू नॉट लीव. गिव अस अनदर ओके हाफ एन आवर. Yeah, come please. Okay. So I should have left a bit earlier. Nitish, अभी होंगे यहाँ पर? Okay, ठीक. So we have got 3 mentors for you. One is Sanjeev sir, we have Akhilesh sir, and we have Pavneet with us. Pavneet ma'am, she deals with essays also along with me for the last almost more than 2 years now. She's also part of the social issues and ethics team, and plus she'll oversee a lot of work that you will do. So she will explain how are we planning to engage you after the classes. आपको assignments मिलेंगे और आपको assignment करना होगा submit. And a reminder for all of you, tomorrow we have your current affairs session at 3 o'clock. And I will request offline guys to come to the class itself because we have some exercises. And online, please attend online itself. ठीक है? So you take over. आपको कुछ यहाँ पर आप कर लेंगे? Yeah, please. So I will meet you tomorrow. Yes, I'm sorry. Got this.
Thank you, sir. Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Pavneet Kaur. I'm really grateful to see you all here and all the online friends who are watching this. So, today we are going to understand all the offerings that we have under the mentorship program that is being offered here. So, there are certain activities that we have planned for you on day-to-day basis, based on which you will be evaluated. Along with that, we also want you to track your own progress. Therefore, there are certain activities that you have to perform every day. So this is why we have tried to conclude this into a very compact kind of orientation workshop, right? So there are certain activities that we are planning every day, like I said earlier. For that, you have to firstly understand, I hope you can see this. So you have to understand as to what are the key components of your dashboard. So dashboard के ऊपर आपके पास ये 5 मेजर components हैं. फर्स्ट थिंग क्या है, आपके रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर्स जो आपको मिल रहे हैं. लेट्स से आप क्लास में किसी भी XYZ रीजन की वजह से नहीं आ पाए हैं, तो आप अपने रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर्स वहीं से ही देख सकते हैं. या फिर क्लास में आप आए हैं, कोई कॉन्सेप्ट समझ नहीं आया है, मिस आउट हो गया है, अगेन उसके लिए यू कैन विजिट द क्लास, बट लेकिन इसके लिए भी एक टाइम पीरियड है जो आपको करना है. नेक्स्ट इज द हैंड रिटन नोट्स जो कि अवेलेबल हैं बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स के लिए ऑनलाइन भी. सो ये सब चीज़ें तो आप डे टू डे बेसिस पर कर रहे हैं, बट शायद आप ये 3 चीज़ें मिस आउट करेंगे. पहली चीज़ है आपका सिनॉप्सिस का टैब. सो जब भी आप कोई क्लास अटेंड कर रहे हैं, वहाँ पर आपको रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर्स जहाँ पर अवेलेबल हैं, उसी के साथ सिनॉप्सिस का टैब मिलेगा डे टू डे बेसिस पर. सो आपको सिनॉप्सिस जो है ये भी रेगुलरली प्रिपेयर करने हैं. अलॉन्ग विद दैट आपको एक डेली मेंस आंसर राइटिंग क्वेश्चन प्रोवाइड किया जा रहा है आपकी ही प्रैक्टिस के लिए, जो कि एक बहुत ही बेसिक लेवल का क्वेश्चन होगा. आपकी क्लास के जो भी टॉपिक्स हैं उसी के बेसिस पर आपको दिया जाएगा. एंड देन द फाइनल थिंग इज दैट उसी से रिलेटेड आपको MCQs भी प्रोवाइड किए जाएंगे सेम उसी टैब के अंदर. बट लेकिन सिनॉप्सिस की सबमिशन बहुत कम रहती है क्योंकि स्टूडेंट्स बहुत लेथार्जिक हैं. और साथ में एट टाइम्स आपको ये बहुत फ्रस्ट्रेटिंग भी लगेगा क्योंकि एक टाइम ऐसा आता है दैट इतने बल्कि नोट्स हो जाते हैं कि आप फ्रस्ट्रेटेड फील करेंगे और आप वेंट आउट करने की कोशिश करेंगे, आप वहीं पर ही छोड़ देंगे, प्रॉबेबली गिव अप कर देंगे. इसीलिए ओके इट्स नॉट वर्किंग. सो सिनॉप्सिस का क्रिएशन कैसे करना है, सबसे पहले आपको ये अंडरस्टैंड करना पड़ेगा. एंड अपलोडिंग देयर बाय सिर्फ 2 सिंपल स्टेप्स हैं, उसी के बेसिस पे आपको करनी है. जब भी आप किसी भी सब्जेक्ट से रिलेटेड कोई भी क्लास अटेंड कर रहे हैं, सो उसका सिनॉप्सिस पहले तो बनाना क्यों है, यू पीपल शुड नो दिस. व्हेनेवर यू आर अटेंडिंग अ क्लास 8 to 9 पेजेस का नोट्स हो जाता है एक ही क्लास के लिए. एट टाइम्स वो 12 पेजेस तक भी चला जाता है. बाय द टाइम 2 महीने हो जाते हैं उस क्लास को, जब आप उन नोट्स को फिर से रिविजिट करेंगे आपको बहुत प्रॉब्लमैटिक लगेगा, बहुत बल्कि लगेगा. तो पहले तो यू हैव टू स्क्वीज द साइज ऑफ इट. उसको एकदम कॉम्पैक्ट वे में लिखना है, जितनी भी रेलिवेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन है 1 से 2 पेजेस के बीच में ही लिखना है. सेकेंड थिंग इज दैट जब आप क्लासेस में आते हैं आप वही अब्जॉर्ब कर रहे हैं जो पढ़ाया जा रहा है, बट उस टाइम आपके एनालिटिकल स्किल्स वर्क नहीं कर रहे हैं एज सच. तो वेन एवर यू गो बैक होम, सिनॉप्सिस बनाने से पहले यू रिवाइज द नोट्स, राइट. जब आप उनको रिवाइज करेंगे एंड देन यू विल डिसाइड योर सेल्फ इसमें से क्या इंपॉर्टेंट कीवर्ड्स हैं दैट वी हैव टू पिक, वी हैव टू राइट देम, और क्या हमारे को छोड़ना है उसके अंदर. सो बेस्ड ऑन दैट आपका एनालिटिकल स्किल्स जो है वो वर्क करने स्टार्ट कर देंगे. ये आपको लॉन्गर रन में हेल्प करेगा कि आप एनालिसिस करना सीख जाएं हर चीज़ का. एंड देन इसको क्रिएट करने का क्या प्रोसेस है. लेट्स से सर ने क्लास में 4 कंपोनेंट्स पढ़ाए हैं. इट मीन्स यू हैव 4 ब्रॉड हेडिंग्स. ओके, उन हेडिंग्स के अंडर सर ने बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स लिखवाए होंगे अक्रॉस द पेजेस. सो यू हैव टू पिक एंड चूज फ्रॉम इट कि इसमें से क्या रेलिवेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन है मुझे पिक करनी है और क्या हमें छोड़नी है. आई नो आप लोगों के माइंड में आ रहा होगा कि इनिशियली हम ये कैसे करेंगे, हाउ डू वी नो विच इन्फॉर्मेशन इज रेलिवेंट विच इज़ नॉट. सो उसके लिए इनिशियली आपको यही करना पड़ेगा. जब आप अपने सिनॉप्सिस बनाएंगे, फर्स्ट कंपोनेंट रिवाइज कीजिए. जब आपने फर्स्ट कंपोनेंट रिवाइज किया, अपने पेज को डिवाइड कर लीजिए 2 या 3 पेजेस में. इट वैरीज फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन, कोई भी कैसे भी कर सकता है. सो ये तो नीट नहीं है, हम ये सिर्फ मैं एक एग्जाम्पल के लिए यहाँ पर लेकर आई हूँ। कुछ स्टूडेंट्स बहुत अच्छे अच्छे सिनॉप्सिस बनाते हैं, सो उन्होंने 3 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड कर लिया है अपने पेज को, राइट। सो आप क्या करो, आप 2 पेजेस में भी कर सकते हो, बट लेकिन आपकी हेडिंग्स लिखी होनी चाहिए, वो अच्छे से हाईलाइटेड होनी चाहिए। एंड देन उसी के आई एम सो सॉरी, उसी के अंदर आपने क्या करना है, डिफरेंट डिफरेंट पॉइंट्स को इनकलकेट करना है, वहीं पर ही ऐड करना है। उसके लिए आप क्या करेंगे, फर्स्ट कंपोनेंट जब आपने रीड किया तो अपने सिनॉप्सिस की शीट भी उसी के पास रखिए, उसी में से अगेन रीड करो और पिक करो कि मेरे को इसके अंदर क्या क्या ऐड करना है। ऑल राइट, तो ये आपका फर्स्ट स्टेप रहेगा। लिटिल बाय लिटिल जब आप बाकी की एक्टिविटीज़ में भी इंडल्ज हो जाओगे, आप खुद अंडरस्टैंड करने लग जाओगे कि इसमें से मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ें क्या है जो हमारे को इसके अंदर लिखनी है। ऑल राइट, सो अब सिनॉप्सिस के कुछ कंपोनेंट्स हैं जो कि आपको बहुत अच्छे से हेल्प कर सकते हैं। वो कंपोनेंट्स क्या है, फर्स्ट मैंने बता ही दिया है, हेडिंग होनी चाहिए। कुछ ऐसी चीज़ें होती हैं जिनके लिए आप बहुत सारे स्कीमेटिक्स भी यूज़ कर सकते हैं। अब जैसे कि यहाँ पर जीएसटी से रिलेटेड उसकी डेवलपमेंट बताई है, तो आप एक फ्लो चार्ट भी यूज़ कर सकते हो यहाँ पर। अगर ज्योग्राफी से रिलेटेड कोई भी कॉन्सेप्ट है, आप एक छोटा सा मैप बना सकते हो वहाँ पर। अगर 2 चीज़ों को कंपैरिजन करना है, सो यू कैन ऑल्सो फॉर्म अ टेबल देयर। एंड फॉर दैट आई सजेस्ट स्टूडेंट्स कि आप पोर्ट्रेट की जगह लैंडस्केप फॉर्म में पेपर को यूज़ कीजिए। उसमें अगर आप पेपर को 3 पार्ट्स में भी डिवाइड करेंगे, यू विल हैव सफिशिएंट पेज का स्पेस जिसके अंदर आप ये सब कुछ ऐड ऑन कर सकते हैं। राइट, इतना क्लियर है आप लोगों को? सो अब जब आपने ये कर लिया डे टू डे बेसिस पर, यू पीपल हैव टू मेक श्योर कि आप सारे की सारे नोट्स 1 से 1.5 पेज के बीच में ही कॉम्पैक्ट वे में लिखें, उसके बियॉन्ड मत जाइए, क्योंकि हमारा मेन पर्पस ये है कि हमारे को उसका बल्क रिड्यूस करना है पहले तो। ऑल राइट, एंड उसके बाद सबमिशन बहुत ही ईजी है। आई बिलीव सम ऑफ यू माइट हैव सबमिटेड अपने अपने सिनॉप्सिस। जस्ट 2 स्टेप्स हैं, आप अपने टैब को जाकर सेलेक्ट कीजिए, कोई भी एक अच्छी स्कैनिंग ऐप डाउनलोड कर लो। आई सजेस्ट अडोब स्कैनर, वो बहुत अच्छे से, बहुत ही अच्छी क्वालिटी है उसकी। बेस्ड ऑन दैट आप पीडीएफ को अपलोड कर दीजिए अपने टैब पर। सो यस, ये बता दिया है। देन अगेन इसके अंदर क्या है, वैलिडिटी हमने डेलिबरेटली रखी है इसके अंदर, क्योंकि अगर आप इसके बियॉन्ड जाकर के कभी सबमिट कर रहे हैं, इसका मतलब ये है यू आर रनिंग बिहाइंड द टाइम। आप लोग रेगुलरली नहीं रिवाइज कर रहे हैं अपने नोट्स, इसीलिए जब भी आप नोट्स को रिवाइज कर रहे हैं, साथ साथ में ही कोशिश कीजिए कि आप अपने सिनॉप्सिस बनाएं और टैब पर अपलोड कर दें। उसके बाद हम जब इसको इवैल्यूएट करेंगे, शायद स्टार्टिंग में आप थोड़े बल्कि बनाएं अपने व्हाट डू वी से अपने सिनॉप्सिस को, बट लेकिन लिटिल बाय लिटिल आप उसका साइज जो है स्क्वीज आउट करते जाएंगे। ऑल राइट, सो इसके बाद हमने एक एक्टिविटी जो रखी है, वो रखी है डेली मेंस आंसर राइटिंग की। ये हमने इसलिए रखी है सो दैट स्टार्टिंग से ही आपको हैबिट हो जाए क्वेश्चंस को अटेम्प्ट करने की, जो भी आंसर राइटिंग क्वेश्चंस है। बट लेकिन हम लोगों ने इसका लेवल बहुत ही बेसिक रखा है। बेसिक लेवल इसलिए रखा है सो दैट यू नो मेनी अ टाइम स्टूडेंट्स डर जाते हैं एंड देन वो छोड़ देते हैं लिखना। तो हम चाहते हैं कि आप रेगुलरली लिखें, आप सबमिट करें, हम आपको उसके ऊपर अच्छे से एक फीडबैक दें सो दैट आप उसको इम्प्रूव कर सकें। सो प्लीज़ इसे मिस आउट मत करो। एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ यहाँ पर आंसर राइटिंग से रिलेटेड ये है दैट आपको ये भी अंडरस्टैंड करना पड़ेगा कि 3 डिफरेंट लेवल्स के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं आपके यूपीएससी में, ठीक है। लेवल 1, लेवल 2 एंड लेवल 3। सो जो लेवल 1 टाइप के क्वेश्चंस हैं, वो आपकी बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग, जैसे कि एनसीईआरटी की जो रीडिंग्स हैं, उसी के थ्रू आप उनको सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज वो इतने इंट्रीगिंग क्वेश्चंस नहीं होते हैं, राइट। सो इसी के लिए वी जस्ट टुक 2 प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस। सो इसमें इफ़ यू लुक एट दीज क्वेश्चंस, ये दोनों की दोनों क्वेश्चंस एनसीईआरटी के थ्रू सॉल्व हो सकते हैं। प्लीज़ टेक 2 मिनट्स एंड रीड कर लो सब लोग अपने पेज पर, यू विल अंडरस्टैंड दिस। आई होप सबको विजिबल है। सो ये बेसिक क्वेश्चन है ओशियानिक ट्रेंचेस के ऊपर। एंड देन अगर आप मेंस का ही अगर क्वेश्चन देखेंगे, प्राइमरी रॉक्स के कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर्स पूछे हैं। तो ये क्या है, ये L1 लेवल के क्वेश्चंस हैं जो आते हैं। अभी हम आप लोगों को इसके लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं सो दैट आप लोग एक पेस में आ जाएं, एक रेगुलरिटी बन जाए आप लोगों की, एंड देन हम उसको लिटिल बाय लिटिल उसका लेवल इंक्रीज करेंगे। L2 टाइप के क्वेश्चंस जो होते हैं, दीज आर द ट्रांजिशनल क्वेश्चंस। इट मीन्स बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग के साथ साथ थोड़ा सा एनालिसिस चाहिए होता है इन क्वेश्चंस के लिए, बट यू पीपल कैन मैनेज दिस. सो उसके लिए ये इस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस होते हैं. ओके, सो फर्स्ट टाइप के क्वेश्चंस में व्हाट पूछते हैं, मतलब कि बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग, बट लेकिन यहाँ पर रीजनिंग भी पूछ सकते हैं. व्हाई, कोई चीज़ हो रही है तो क्यों हो रही है, लाइक दैट. सो दीज आर द टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. एंड L3 आर द मोस्ट इंट्रीगिंग क्वेश्चंस. इसमें क्या होता है, क्वेश्चंस बहुत लेयर्ड रहते हैं. एक ही क्वेश्चन के अंदर आपको 3 डिफरेंट स्टेटमेंट्स गिवन होंगी अलग अलग. ओके, एंड देन यू हैव टू हैव अ डीप एनालिसिस सो दैट आप लोग एलिमिनेट करके या फिर अंडरस्टैंडिंग के बेसिस पर इसको सॉल्व कर सके. सेम इज द केस विद योर मेंस क्वेश्चंस. ओके, सो दीज आर द लेवल्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस दैट आर देयर. सो अभी बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए हम लेवल 1 क्वेश्चंस ही आपको प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं क्लास के अंदर. उनको डेली बेसिस पर प्लीज आप लोग सबमिट कीजिए. ऑलराइट, सो वंस यू आर डन विद योर सिनॉप्सिस, आपने अपने एक मॉड्यूल लेट्स से ज्योग्राफी उसके सिनॉप्सिस क्रिएट कर लिए. नेक्स्ट स्टेप इज आपको उसको बाय हार्ट लर्न करना है. फॉर दैट वी कीप सेशंस वेयर आप यहाँ आ सकते हैं, यहाँ बैठ करके उनको लर्न कर सकते हैं. जैसे ही वो आप बाय हार्ट लर्न कर लेंगे, नेक्स्ट लेवल क्या है, आपका वर्कबुक सेशन है. ज्योग्राफी का मॉड्यूल जैसे ही खत्म होगा, आपने सिनॉप्सिस लर्न कर लिए, सो हम क्या करेंगे, वर्कबुक सेशन में उसी से रिलेटेड आपको एक वर्कबुक प्रोवाइड करेंगे. वो भी आप यहाँ बैठिए, उसे सॉल्व कीजिए. इट विल ऑल्सो हेल्प यू इवेल्युएट योर ओन स्किल्स, या फिर आपने क्या क्या लर्न किया है, क्या आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है उस सब्जेक्ट की. सो वर्कबुक में हम क्या करते हैं, बहुत सारे अलग अलग टाइप के क्वेश्चंस डालते हैं. मैप बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस हो गए, फिलअप्स हो गए, एमसीक्यूज हो गए, टेबल्स हो गए, जिनको आपको कंप्लीट करना होता है. सो वर्कबुक सेशन उसी पे बेस्ड है. yes yes PYQs. who asked this? You asked it. Okay, all right, yes. So हम लोगों का वर्कबुक का पैटर्न ही यही है. जैसे ज्योग्राफी की वर्कबुक है तो पहले हम उसका सिलेबस देते हैं कि व्हाट डज यूपीएससी से अबाउट इट, कि आपको क्या प्रिपेयर करना है. देन PYQs गिवन होते हैं बोथ प्रीलिम्स एज वेल एज मेंस के. एंड देन हम लोग अपनी एक्टिविटी स्टार्ट करते हैं उसके अंदर. तो सारी की सारी चीज़ें आपको एक ही जगह पे कंसोलिडेटेड मिल जाएंगी. बट लेकिन अगेन मैं रिपीट करूँगी, आपको रेगुलर रहना पड़ेगा. अगर रेगुलर नहीं रहोगे तो बहुत फ्रस्ट्रेशन बिल्ड होने लग जाएगी. सो प्लीज़ डू दैट. फाइनली जब आपका वर्कबुक खत्म हो जाएगा मैराथन सेशन में, वी विल हेल्प यू एनालाइज द PYQs. क्योंकि PYQs जो हैं दे आर द की टू द प्रेपरेशन. आपके पास अंडरस्टैंडिंग होनी ही चाहिए कि किस टाइप के क्वेश्चंस पूछे जा रहे हैं. सो इसमें हम आपको हेल्प करने वाले हैं. सो अभी तक किसी को कुछ पूछना है? एनी डाउट्स, एनी डाउट्स? सबको क्लियर है? बहुत स्मार्ट बच्चे हो यार, नाइस. सो ये सब इतना ही था. इनकेस आप लोगों को कोई टेक्निकल इशू आता है, सो रितेश सर हैं बाहर, आप उनसे बात कर सकते हैं. डैशबोर्ड से रिलेटेड कोई भी इशू है, या फिर अगर आप उनको रीच आउट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, hello@edukemy इज़ द ID. आप लोग लिख लीजिए अगर आपको लिखना है, hello@edukemy. वहाँ पर आप मेल कर दीजिएगा, विल बी हैप्पी टू हेल्प यू. या hello@edukemy.com. Done? All right, thank you so much guys for being patient.